power of touch has always been a healing technique. Imagine if you were someone for whom sunlight was sometimes difficult to bear, if you were someone whose sight was not perfect. What sort of career would you go into if you wanted to be in the healing professions? We're going to ask that question now of our next guest, a graduate of San Leandro's Carrington College, Andrea Hernandez. Welcome.
Hi, thanks.
So what made you think, I want to go into massage therapy? What was it about the idea of helping people that needed touch that inspired you?
Well, most people think of massage, going in, getting massaged because their shoulders are tense or their lower back is sore. But I went into it because I thought of the internal pain that some of us go through. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I like to heal from the inside out. So a lot of internal pain, we wear it. Like, you know how they say we carry the weight of the world on our shoulders? Because it's true. And so a lot of times the reason why people have trigger points is what they call them, or just a tense back is because they're suffering internally. So I think of it on a more deeper level.
Now, you're originally from San Jose, mm-hmm. growing up here in the Bay Area, and at an early age you realized that you were albino, that you were sensitive to the sun, you're legally blind. Do you think these challenges led to some of what you were just talking about, inner pain, that made you want to help other people shed their inner pain through massage?
Yeah, well, I didn't find out that I was different until later on, you know. I don't really think I realized it until maybe my teens. Maybe some of the internal pain could come from, or maybe some things I suffered from is from like being different and maybe being teased or bullied. But I've always been very tough, so I didn't let that slide when I was younger, and still don't. But I don't know. It's just coming from a rougher background, so it's kind of normal.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some of your tattoos before we started, so I imagine that that's an outward sign of how tough you've had to be on the inside. You say you were teased and bullied when you were young. Mm-hmm. Do you think that was because you looked different or because of your eyes? And how did you deal with that? I mean, there's been a lot said in the LGBT community lately about how we deal with bullying. Mm-hmm. What was it like being doubly or triply bullied as a young person?
I don't know. I can't really say that it damaged me because there was other things that were going on in my life that overpowered that. But it was tough. I just beat up all the boys.
You just beat up on the boys.
Yeah.
So you learned early to turn the teasing into a form of strength.
And then I learned later on that like sometimes the boys do that because they like you, whatever. But you know, like they hit you when you're younger or something. Mm-hmm. Whatever. I don't know. That didn't.
Do you think some of the challenges you faced have been easier to face within the LGBT community? Have you found the LGBT community welcoming to the work you do and to the challenges that you've faced?
Well, I think the LGBTQ actually, right?
Mm-hmm. LGBTQ.
Yeah. They're very accepting with anything that's different. So, yeah, they accept me, and it's, I don't know.
What do you think makes the massage you do special? I mean, talking to you back in the green room about the challenges you faced, being legally blind, coming out, as it were, quote unquote, being an albino, mm-hmm. because you said you think there's a lot of people, well, because you said there are a lot of people that don't understand what that means.
Right.
You said sometimes people don't know, am I Caucasian? What is my race? I mean, how do you explain it to people, or do you feel that you need to?
I don't ever explain, but I do like people to ask if they have a question, to ask, to not assume, because some people are very ignorant. And so when it comes to my eyes, I'll just say ignorant on that level. Because they don't understand, and so some people will just straight up say, like, why do your eyes move? What's wrong with your eyes? And then I'll tell them, I'll say, well, I was born this way, I'm legally blind, stuff like that, but it does come off very rude. But yeah, I don't know.
Do you think that the clients you have in your massage practice come to you because they sense that there is a greater power to your massage because you're not typically sighted? You're not someone who came from a quote-unquote typical massage background, that because of your challenges, maybe you have a more healing touch? I mean, I guess what I'm trying to get at is, as someone who is legally blind and someone for whom touch and sunlight and light in general makes your skin sensitive, do you feel you have more empathy with people who would have difficulty being touched?
Yeah. Touch is one of our senses, so I'm really in tuned, and I'm very sensitive to other people's needs and things like that. So I don't know, just magic hands. Do
you think you have magic hands?
Yeah. I do say that, like, as a joke or whatever, but I do. I mean, it's my job to help the best that I can and to help heal. And like I said earlier, I think about the internal pain. Even though I don't know their story, I just think they could be going through something tough.
Right.
And so I'm going to do my best to help them and at least alleviate their pain during this time and for a few, after they leave. And when it comes to my clients, they don't know. I don't disclose anything. We don't talk, really. I just kind of talk with them beforehand and figure out what they need for that day. But I don't tell them that I'm an albino. I don't tell them that I'm legally blind. I don't tell them that I'm part of the LGBT. So, I mean.
But do you think they sense something different in your touch? We talked about that back in the green room, that some of your clients have come back to you because they say, wow, I've never had a massage that felt like that. What is it that makes your hands magic? Is it because of some of the challenges you've faced?
Yeah, I think that you kind of have to experience life. When you experience a lot of things through life, it just like I said, it just makes you very in tuned. So I'm very aware of people and their body language or I'm just in tuned. It's on so much of a deeper level, it's hard to explain. But they have told me, like, oh, you found the spot. Like, how did you know right where the problem area was? And I just happen to I'm really good at finding those problems.
Right. Last question for you. When you're working with a client in this intense body work and you're healing them through your touch, do you feel that some of your inner pain also is healed? Yeah. Do you feel that you are healed through the work that you do?
Yeah, because I do think about, like, them first, of course, and I think, well, like I said, we don't know what anybody's going through. I don't know, but I am there to give my all, because I didn't have anybody to guide me along the way to help me be who I am. I had to learn all this on my own, and even though they are who they are, but sometimes they just need somebody that cares, so that's what I do.
Great. Thank you for talking with us.
Thank you.
We've been speaking with Andrea Hernandez and her magic hands, thanks to her in Carrington College. Next up, our conversation with Viet Lee, talking about the first ever San Francisco International Southeast Asian Film Festival. We'll be right back. Thanks.